The Barefoot Way, the Tao Short Form, great training in times of uncertainty. The time of individual pursuit is on hold. We have been at war, and you have been tested. If you weren't able to think for yourself and found that you followed someone else, or followed the herd, or worse, followed the authorities' directives, then you were not in control of your life. Someone else had taken charge. Because had your intuition been accessed, you would have listened to the warnings. If you found your strength lacking, if you found your skills not up to par, if you found that your ideas of your abilities did not match your actions, if you were not up to the task during this most terrible of times, then you must face yourself, look in the mirror, be honest. And that is okay, because it is never too late to start. Or if you have trained previously, then recommence training. Start today. Now, if that was a martial art, fantastic. Recommence your form work. If you have meditated previously and moved out of a routine, then recommence. The Tao Short Form is a conscious meditation, and students of the Barefoot Health Program will recognize immediately it is a simplification of the Bagua. But it is universal, of course, and available to anyone interested in studying meditation and energy science. Let me start with an introduction of the Tao Short Form meditation training and martial arts. The benefits of sport in general are conditioning of the physical body, emotional body, and discipline of the entirety of mind, both conscious and subconscious. Each sport brings a certain fitness of the body. The body gets built in a way particular to the sport. Runners build leg muscles, swimmers all muscles, but in a different manner. Different types of muscle are developed. The interaction between tendon and muscle is a little different between the two sports. Just look at the differing states of relaxation between a swimmer, say, and a weightlifter. The stresses of training can push and pull, and test and injure the body too. Martial arts are a sport, but they are much more. These are warrior arts, and they're used for self-defense. We include mastery of weapons in attack. The complete development of martial arts includes healing. It is logical that students learn acupuncture, pressure, massage, meditation, herbs, and Tai Chi. The power of the martial art is in training of the complete mind. Longer-term exposure unifies the higher mind with the body. Now this part may not make sense to someone who hasn't trained, so this conversation is really directed to those people who have embarked upon training and have been graded or initiated into the finer aspects of their art form, but it is open to all who might listen. Meditation and physical training do align. I've mentioned that we are in a war. Whereas previously each of us had our personal challenges unique to our life script, now we find ourselves within a shared world script, each participating in a worldwide karmic event. The world karma provided a stage for my fantasy work, Angels Call to War. Angels inspired people to alter karma, improve fate, and create a destiny. Given my experience with the seemingly fixed state of fate, I am aware of the contradiction in having this conversation, but I think the conversation is worthwhile. There is tension between the two ideas of a fixed state of fate and the alternative, your and my ability to alter or improve that line of fate into a positive potential, destiny. For newcomers who are at a certain stage, say who have experienced Kundalini, they might find this interesting, just as I did decades ago. This sort of conversation was fascinating to me back then. I hung on to words of the older folks, hoping for breadcrumbs. In many cases, the older folk were not so experienced, some not capable, and others just pretenders. But every now and then, I discovered gold. I might use this gold as a contemplation seed and use it for my prayer work. Some results were interesting, and occasionally I was rewarded. What sort of rewards? Well, I had great adventures through the astral years, So much fun whooshing about different dimensions. In the early days of inner adventures, I was very excited, and I liked to share the adventures of out-of-body adventure. There were astral travels, causal plane journeys, and more. I remember that a friend asked about astral travel. He was interested, yet sceptical. "Prove it to me." "I don't believe you," he taunted. I asked if he really wanted proof. Yes, he did. There was a group of us participating at the time, and everyone seemed interested. "Are you ready for a mind-altering experience without drugs?" I quizzed. "Yes," they responded. Later at night I went to bed and prepared. I was excited and wondered if I would be successful. I left my sleeping body and happily moved my light body towards them. I really just thought upon them. I woke these adventurous non-believers from their sleep. We flew in a journey through the supraphysical dimension, just next to this one. They laughed and they seemed to have fun. I grew tired eventually of the adventure, and I could feel my energies waning. I returned with them towards their beds and placed my attention on my body and returned to my bed in a blur of speed. It was a little like a slingshot. I went fast asleep. I woke the next morning and recalled the previous night's adventures. Yes, success! Later in the day I met with the group. I couldn't wait to see if any recalled the experience. I prompted the loudest of the group. "Any dreams last night? Recall anything?" Moment's pause. Then he recalled. "Oh my gosh, yes, we went flying. Wow!" One of the party, a girl whom I was attracted to, remembered and then turned away. She didn't want to talk about it anymore, and she shut down the experience. It was back to work for her. Was the astral adventure important? Not really, but I would say it kept me engaged, and that may have been more important to me at that time. Perhaps there was a sense of being an evangelist too, promoted within my brand of spiritual science. Not unusual for any religion to sell its wares. Many religions sell their brand to others. Was the experience of benefit to the newbies? Maybe, maybe not. Who can say, really? Interestingly, I don't do similar things these days, probably because I'm much older now, and I tired of astral adventures decades ago. But I am reminded that we must make an effort to show others our way. It is up to them to proceed or not. A life without giving opportunity to others is not a rewarding life. If I want to learn about a subject, it is just lovely that some person is prepared to teach me. So the principle is obvious. A teacher gives his or her students. He or she is older and knows more. A healer assists those in ill health. It is nice to be helped when we are unwell, yes? What about the principle of pearl before swine? There can be a level of conflict. Higher esoteric knowledge is kept secret from the uninitiated. To a great degree, we don't say too much about it. The upper levels of the hidden dimensions are challenging enough to a keen student, let alone attempting to explain them to anyone of little to no experience. The words are wasted and of no assistance. Experience shows that the ideas can harm and cause conflict. But we do offer hints and structured methods to assist another to reach the same heights and travel even farther. So, to whom is this introduction of the Tao Short Form intended? I am interested in the warriors, those people who actively develop their skills. These are the people who can shape our world and resist the ugly projections from the unimaginative. These are the people who I am addressing. There is no uniform or club membership. You will know in your spirit if you are a spiritual warrior. If you identify with this ideal, I suggest you meditate and contemplate and pray. Learn what each of these mean. Develop your skills and advance. Further your understanding so that you can pass on that wisdom. Is it important? We are in biblical times. It is a time of revelation, and the best way to understand revelation is to develop the spiritual tools. And an excellent way to develop the attitudes is the practice of the Tao Short Form. It is like practicing a new exercise routine that promotes greater strength and flexibility and stamina in the body. It will grant you greater resilience. The Tao Short Form is a presentation of the 9 numbers of Pythagoras, which are also the 9 trigrams of the Bhagavad. Working with these frequencies expands your state of consciousness. You will gain meaning and be able to interpret patterns in your body and also in the external world. Things will make more sense. Just like Tai Chi, where we learn breath, movement, and Qi, thereby developing internal power, well, the Tao Short Form is an offering of the 9 attitudes and how to develop the mental and spiritual application of those attitudes and convert them into reality, your reality. Improve your life. I think that improving your life and our world is pretty important right now. 9 paragraphs follow, and each is a summary of the trigrams of the Bhagwa.